And over 60% of listeners said they wish they really could put him in a box, then open it and find he was gone. That's the Schrodinger's cat principle, explained by David Mundell tomorrow evening at 7:45. But now on Radio 4, we cross over live to the grand old Eastgate Theatre in the Scottish town of Peebles for the 2023 Autumn Special Edition show from the Downright Homespun Radio Company. While over on Longwave, there's another chance to hear Wagner's Ring Cycle, played on recorder and ukulele.
Bring the sunshine in your smile. Bring the laughter all the while. In this world where we live, there should be more happiness. So much joy you can give to each bright new bright tomorrow. Bring me happy through the years. Never bring me any tears. Let your arms be as warm as the sun from up above. Bring me fun, bring me sunshine, bring me love. Bring me fun, bring me sunshine, bring me love.
A warm welcome on this September evening to the Downright Homespun Radio Company's Autumn Special Edition for 2023. Broadcasting live from the grand old Eastgate Theatre in downtown Peebles, Scotland, our radio signal is being beamed into the homes of millions, or at least I think it is. The on-air light's not on yet, but I'm hoping it is, around the world.
Loyal listener. We're on the air now. Good, good. Well, just in time for the loyal listeners in Outer Mongolia, we're using yak-mounted transmitters to bring our Autumn Special Edition to communities in the eastern mountain areas for the very first time. While in Darwin, Australia, the show has been renamed the Spring Special Edition and is being broadcast over loudspeakers to a crowd of 22,000 people gathered in the North Crest Park on a warm Saturday morning. Good day to you all.
Here in the Scottish town of Peebles, the queue for tickets for our live broadcast stretched around the corner and along the street, and even inside Forsyth the Butcher's this morning, as townsfolk ensured that they had both tickets for the show and pies for the interval this evening.
On stage tonight, we welcome a DHRC house band. With another stunning selection of songs to lift your spirits and set your feet tapping this evening as we celebrate the grand old Eastgate Theatre! Yeah, let's hear it! The home of the DHRC since 1896. We'll be hearing from them in just a minute, but first let's remind ourselves why we're here this evening.
On a snow-laden Christmas Eve in 1896, a group of shepherds from the Manor Valley followed a star along the road and into the nearby town of Peebles. There they found a young amateur sound recordist who had set up his wax cylinder gramophone in the tower of the newly built Eastgate Free Church.
The Downright Homespun Radio Company was born that very night and has been bringing music and laughter to Peebles and the world ever since. Now the grand old Eastgate Theatre, this building has had many guises over the years.
Originally the parish church of St. Peter of Norris, the Eastgate became a community hall. Some of you got that. And home to the DHRC in the 1890s. During the Second World War, the Home Guard met weekly in the Eastgate Hall. It was a donkey sanctuary in the 1960s and briefly a goth nightclub.
During the 1970s, Border's Regional Council used the Eastgate to store road signs. And it was in 1983 that a council rubbish truck reversed into the side of a building, demolishing the side wall and revealing a long-forgotten theatre and performance space, first created by the Peebles and District Cabaret and Burlesque Society in the 1890s.
You remember them?
Maybe some of you do remember it,
I
yeah?
think so. It's a lady in the front row.
But it was closed down by the Church of Scotland for reasons of public decency.
The auditorium was restored in 2004, and these days, the Grand Old Eastgate Theatre is home to arts, music and performance of all kinds. We're here tonight to support that work in times of trouble. All the proceeds from tonight's show and from our grand prize draw go to the Eastgate Theatre. Thank you to our enthusiastic audience tonight, crammed into every available seat and up to the rafters. And they join millions around the world, listening live on their radio sets, or catching up with the show on YouTube or other interweb technologies.
Let's kick things off now with our DHRC house band, live and on stage this evening with an all-new lineup of songs to lift our spirits and banish all those worries for a few hours. Please give them a warm welcome with When You're Smiling.
Kicking off our autumn special edition show in support of the Grand Old Eastgate this evening.
Millions are listening to our live broadcast around the world, but 600 lucky people managed to get tickets for tonight's show. And they're here with us in this magnificent auditorium with its raised proscenium stage, 5 tiers of plush seating and full-length tapestried curtains, designed by George Rene Mackintosh.
The Grand Old Eastgate Theatre has been the DHRC's home here in Peebles since 1896. Tonight's autumn special edition show is in support of the theatre's work, a vote of confidence in the hard-working staff and the new Board of Trustees.
And speaking of boards and committees, the DHRC has recently obtained a recording of a phone call following the elections to the Peebles Community Council that took place a couple of weeks ago. Okay, is this phone line working? Because I know things can get a bit dodgy up there in the Manor Valley.
Mr. President, just to make you aware, there are several interested parties on the line. We have the Peebles Community Council Returning Officer, the chair of the Peebles Car Parking Charges Committee, the chair of the Peebles Public Conveniences Committee, and of course the chair of the Manor Valley Sheepdog Trials and Carpet Bowling Society.
Come by. We buy it. Come on, we buy it. Come on, we buy it.
Okay, so we got the main people on the line here. Let's go. Because I'm going to tell you how it is. Now, which of you losers is the returning officer? Because I need 5 votes. That's all I need. 5 votes. That's one more than the other guy got. And that's all I need. And I can become chair of the Peebles Community Council, which is my new goal. You guys know that I'm the best. I'm the best around. Nobody beats me. It's gonna happen, guys. Let's not stand in my way. I already bought the Peebles Golf Club, and I got my eye on the guides. If you ever get that boiler fixed.
Is that you,
What I haven't been called that for a long time. Who the hell are you?
I used to ken your mother. Long time ago, mate.
You what?
Oh, I often went to my holidays to Lewis, and we kind of got to know each other as it came to me. That was before she emigrated, of course. But if I look at, I seem to remember. Here, come away, byfly. Come away, byfly.
What are you saying?
Oh, nothing. Yeah, that's how you I knew that well.
Listen, can we get back to the business in hand?
Oh, aye, sorry about that. Here, come on, byfly. Will you come on, byfly?
You see, I've been hearing about stories of 2,000 dead people voting, and voting boxes containing 20,000 votes ending up in a Tweed. And that sort of stuff will change the result, you know.
Yeah.
I mean, it's clear I must have won Peebles. We got at least 20 people to my rally in the Borough Hall. I mean, come on, nobody's better than me, right?
But there's no 20,000 people in the whole of Tweed Valley.
Look. What? Get off my back. There's no way I lost this vote. We gotta flip the result, guys, and 5 votes are all I need to do that. 5 votes, that's all I need.
And 2,000 people haven't died recently in the Tweed Valley.
Come on, give me a break, will you? Listen, I'm short of votes. I need just 5 votes. I need 5 votes. That's all I need to become chair of the community council, and then I'll sort out all the problems in this town. Toilets, parking, traffic lights, overdevelopment, vandalism. I can sort them all out on day 1. Day 1! If I can just become chair of a community council and 5 votes are okay. That's all I need. Come on, let's do it, guys. Okay, right. Next item on the agenda. I want to become chair of the Eastgate Theatre board. Now, who's going to fix me back, huh?
Dark dealings and shifty shenanigans in the shires around Peebles there. Not the first time that local boards and councils change hands in murky manoeuvres.
You're listening to the Autumn Special Edition brought to you by the Downright Hopes Fund Radio Company here at the Grand Old Eastgate Theatre in downtown Peebles!
Coming up later in the show this evening, council workers Bert and Stan are taking an unaccustomed drive up the road to Peebles to check on a leaky roof. And the Home Guard at Wilmington-on-Sea has reassembled to once again defend the country against extremist zealots. But before all that, here's the DHRC House Band on stage with On the Sunny Side of the Street.
Grab your coat, get your hat, leave your worries on the doorstep. Just direct your seat to the sunny side of the street. Can't you hear that bitter pat? Fun and happy sound is your step. Life can be so sweet on the sunny side of the street. I used to walk in the shade with the blues on the way. Now I'm not afraid. There's a rover has crossed over. If I never have a cent, I'll be rich as Rockefeller. Gold dust at my feet on the sunny side of the street.
DHRC House Band live on stage here at the grand old Eastgate Theatre in downtown Peebles!
Our house band is sponsored by Villeneuve Wines, based right here in Peebles, easing the difficult transition from rehearsal to performance with life-saving wines, spirits and beers since 1847.
That's right, Douglas. Villeneuve Wines started off in a small cupboard on the unfashionable side of the Northgate, selling high-end bottles of wine to the unwashed plebs of Peebles, slowly weaning them off Buckfast, Special Brew, and Mrs. Tweedy's homemade thistle brandy.
Moving their premises to the sun-drenched and fashionable Eastgate alongside McGrath's Outfitters, Young's Shoes and Forsyth's Candlestick Makers, Villeneuve has branched out to every major city in the UK and delivers wines weekly throughout Scotland in a Formula One racing car.
Villeneuve Wines on the Eastgate in Peebles.
Funds from our Amerrycana Christmas shows every year go into our DHRC Creative Fund, which gives grants every year to local young people pursuing their artistic dreams. Now, we've got one such grant recipient in the audience here this evening, a talented musician who received one of our grants to help him with his music studies. He's currently working towards his grade 8 in music, and we're delighted to invite him onto the stage this evening to play for us. Please put your hands together for the immensely talented Michael Gemmell playing George Gershwin's I Got Rhythm. the very talented Michael Gemmell, ladies and gentlemen, one of many recipients of our grant from our DHRC Creative Fund for Young People.
Angus! What on earth are you doing here?
Gordon, I could ask you the same question.
Well, I could see that they needed a wee bit of help. You know, there's a few vacancies and I thought I could maybe bring some new skills, you know, sort of fit a gap if you know what I mean.
And what kind of gap would that be? Experience of making tea at the bowling club?
Well, what do they need a farmer from the Manor Valley for? To herd more people into their esoteric music evenings?
Now, I have experience of making the books balance on the farm, one way or another. Keeping my neighbours informed about my latest diversification enterprise like ramping and paintballing, and most importantly, how to get money out of the Scottish government to keep the place ticking over.
Well, maybe we can both help sort things out. It's certainly something I've never done before.
Me neither, and it sounds like I need some help. Anyway, shh, the meeting's about to start.
Welcome, ladies and gentlemen. First item on the agenda is the need to get fresh talent with the necessary skill set onto the board. So, without further ado, I'd like to welcome our good friends Angus and Gordon to take up their positions on the board. Welcome, gentlemen. It's great to have you join the revamped Eastgate Theatre Board of Trustees. Perhaps you could each tell us your ideas of how to get more money pouring into the Eastgate Theatre and Arts venue.
Well, we do quite well at the raffles down at the bowling club, so we could try that. Also coffee mornings, cribbage evenings, cream tea afternoons, whisk drives and jumble sales.
Aye, well, that's all very well and good, but if you want to go for the big bucks, you need to consider agricultural subsidies.
This is an arts venue, Angus, not a farm.
Well, that's my point. We'll rename it as a farm. Get the place classed as a hill farm under the Scottish Upland Sheep Support Scheme. And we're sorted. Sheep in the auditorium, sheep in the studio. I think it'll work a treat.
Will the inspectors accept that?
Well, just leave that to me. I'll sort them out with some biscuits and some tea.
But what about our artistic performances? I mean, that's our purpose, you know.
Oh, it could still be artistic, couldn't it, Angus? I mean, sheep can be very artistic and entertaining, you know. I saw a sheep play a cello once. No, really. I'm sure we could get a whole sheep orchestra together if we try, and we could perform a live sheep version of Shaun the Sheep.
I'm not very sure about this. It's very alternative.
Aye, I can see that, but it's a plan. I mean, does anybody else have a plan?
No, not at the moment.
So we could run with Angus's plan for a while, see if it works, and I'm sure we could squeeze in the likes of a DHRC or Phil Cunningham and his pal somewhere around the edges.
Right, I'll get my buck spreader ready.
On friends Angus and Gordon, stepping up. Stepping out of the Tweedy Tearoom and into the meeting rooms of the Eastgate Board of Trustees there, and we wish them every success as they face the music and dance.
Yeah, here's the DHRC house band on stage now. Henry White has a recipe for dealing with all your troubles that might lie ahead.
Share
White and the superb DHRC house band here on our autumn special edition show in support of the Eastgate Theatre.
Nearly 4 years ago, and it seems like longer, we performed another special edition show here on the Eastgate stage. The Brexit Horror Show went out on Halloween 2019, laying bare the full horror of what was about to happen when the UK finally left the European Union.
We predicted chaos at Dover, increases in the cost of living, social division and political turmoil.
The reality exceeded anything we could have predicted. In the wake of the UK's recent trade deal with New Zealand, we'd like to take you back to a sketch from that 2019 show where we interviewed the Trade Minister from New Zealand about the prospects of dealing with a Britain that had taken back control.
Good evening.
G'day.
You are David Parker and you're the Trade Minister for New Zealand.
Oh, that's right.
Welcome and thank you for talking to us.
Good to be here.
Now, David Parker, can you tell us how negotiations are going for a trade deal between Britain and New Zealand?
Well, Brian, Britain's already got a trade deal with New Zealand through the European Union.
Yes, but they're about to leave the European Union.
Yeah, I heard about that. We had a visit a couple of years ago from your Scottish Minister, Mr. Mundane.
Mandel.
Yeah, that's the guy. He mentioned this, and I explained to him that if you leave the European Union, you won't have a trade deal with us anymore.
But then we'll be in a position to negotiate a more favourable trade deal.
How do you work that out?
Well, we won't be bound by all those EU rules.
What rules are these? Like, you mean things like food safety standards and hygiene regulations?
Yes, all that EU red tape. I mean, Britain will be an independent country, free to strike its own trade deals all over the globe.
Yeah, I see what you mean. So that's good news for us because Britain imports a lot of our butter, cheese, lamb, kiwi fruit, apples, wine, honey, just for starters. We'll be able to charge a lot more for those things once you're not in the EU.
Well, why would you charge more than you do now?
The EU's a huge market, so they can command big discounts for volume, but Britain's just going to be a bit player, so you'll have to expect to pay more. That's just market forces.
Yes, but Britain is one of the most important economies in the world. And besides, if you put up your prices, well, we can do the same for our exports.
Really? What do you export?
Well, we export, all kinds of things.
The only things we import from Britain, apart from people emigrating, is a few cars, and they're pretty crap. So, no, Britain doesn't really have anything we want to buy. I mean, you mostly export weapons and dodgy financial products, and we're not interested in them.
But you're part of the Commonwealth. You have to trade with us.
What are you going to do, send in a gunboat and make us buy opium?
Of course not, but what about those traditional ties between our two countries?
That pretty much ended in 1973, Brian, when Britain joined the EEC. I mean, at that time, Britain hung most of its trading partners out to dry overnight. The thing is, Brian, you can't spend 3 centuries pissing off countries all over the world and then expect that they'll be pleased to see you when you turn up wanting to buy their fruit.
So what will you be saying to the British Trade Minister?
I'll be saying, let's talk. We're very happy to go on selling you our premium quality food and drink. Prices have gone up and your pounds won't be worth as much, but we're happy to sell you whatever's left once China and Europe have had their pick of it.
Oh, yeah. David Parker, New Zealand Trade Minister, thank you.
Thank you. That was an interview from our 2019 Brexit Horror Show, which we still think is relevant today. Back to Peebles now. Here on the DHRC Autumn Special Edition and approaching the town in a large vehicle are Scottish Borders Council workers Bert and Stan.
It's not often we find ourselves on this road over to Peebles, Bert.
That's right, Stan. Not much for the council to spend its money on in Peebles these days.
Remember the old days of the hanging baskets and the flower beds and collecting the green bins every other week?
I do, Stan. We were regularly in Peebles watering and mowing, fixing up the potholes and sweeping the streets. People could see where their council tax was spent on in their days.
With all these services gone now, Bert, I guess the people of Peebles must be paying a lot less council tax these days.
Well, you would think so, wouldn't you, Stan? But I don't think it works that way. They might even be paying more.
More? I see. So if they're paying more council tax, but the things they were paying for are all disappearing, I guess there's an obvious question that's marching towards this conversation, Bert.
Aye, there is, Stan, but luckily these questions are way above our pay grade.
That's right enough, Bert. We can trust our councillors to be spending that money responsibly without being distracted by questions for the likes of us.
Hang on, we must be approaching Peebles, Stan. I can see multiple sets of traffic lights stretching out along the road ahead.
It's part of the new council policy of creating extra parking in Peebles, Bert.
How does that work then, Stan?
They install traffic lights every 100 yards along the main road to the town and make sure there's always one that's on red. Combine it with a 20-mile-an-hour speed limit and the cars are as good as parked on the street.
Oh, that is genius, Stan. I mean, the people of Peebles can simply leave their cars anywhere on the high street when they're fetching the messages because they won't be moving anyway.
Makes it safer for pedestrians as well. No moving cars and dash in front of it.
Just like the old days, eh, Stan?
Aye, turn right down here, Bert, just past the Green Tree Hotel. Let's park up here.
What are we doing here in Peebles, Stan? And why have we brought the extending cherry picker all the way up here? Are we doing some tree cutting?
No, Bert, we're inspecting the roof of this place.
The Eastgate Theatre?
Aye, Bert, there's been a few problems with the structure of this place and the council's been called in to help.
What kind of problems?
Rack.
Rack!
Rack and ruin, Bert. The place has been looking a bit creaky and they think there might be rack and ruin at the top.
Oh, that's bad news, Stan.
Aye, it's our job to get up there and see if the structure at the top needs replacing. It could be unstable and full of holes and hop in the cage there, Bert. Let's take a look.
Can you see anything, Stan?
There's a lot of hot air up here, Bert. Just lift the cover off that section over there.
What, here?
Aye, that's the one.
Oh, there's definitely some problems here, Stan. Look at this. These old boards look rotten. They're giving no real support to the theatre at all. I'm not sure how it's still standing up.
It's got good foundations, Bert, but theatres these days need extra supports to stay up. This one's got too much weight at the top.
You think that's the problem then? Not enough support at the bottom?
Aye, I do. Come on, let's get down.
So what are we going to do, Stan?
We need something to give extra support to the theatre, Bert.
What, me take out all the rack?
Aye, and the ruin, Bert.
So you mean new boards?
Aye, new boards, but made of different stuff. Something strong and lightweight and flexible that gives real support to the whole building.
Something with a bit more metal, do you think?
Metal, you could be right, but the old wooden approach hasn't worked. But a bit more metal could be the answer.
I know where there's some good metal. Just go to waste at the side of the road, Stanley,
Hop in the truck, Bert, we'll fetch it straight away. There's no time to lose if we're going to save the Eastgate Theatre.
That's council workers Bert and Stan there on a rare visit to Peebles, checking on the state of the grand old Eastgate Theatre in downtown Peebles. And we wish them well with the repair job, which is still ongoing. We'll report on their progress in our Amerrycana Christmas show, if we're still here by then.
As we approach our interval here on the Autumn Special Edition show, there's music from a DHRC house band now, on stage at the grand old Eastgate Theatre in downtown Peebles!
Nothing's impossible, I found. But when my chin is on the ground, I pick myself up, dust myself off, start all over again. Don't lose your confidence if you slip. Be grateful for a pleasant trip and pick yourself up, dust yourself off, start all over again. Work like a soul inspired till the battle of the day is won. You may be sick and tired, but stick till the job is done. Will you remember the famous man who had to fall to rise again? So pick yourself up, dust yourself off, start all over again. Work like a soul inspired till the battle of the day is won. You may be sick and tired, but stick till the job is done. Will you remember the famous man who had to fall to rise again? So take a deep breath, pick yourself up, dust yourself off, start all over again.
And the DHRC house band here on the Autumn Special Edition show at the grand old Eastgate Theatre.
This next portion of our show is brought to you by the In Your Face Barber Shop, along the close and up the stairs off the North Gate.
You can pick yourself up this autumn season with a special offer from Peebles' very own In Your Face Barber's Shop.
With over 63 barbers and hairdressing salons to choose from in Peebles, which floor do you choose to drop your clippings, shavings and split ends?
Special services such as thinning, thickening, edging, shaping and tapering can soon have those bills mounting up for what started out as a simple shave and a bit off the top.
In Your Face Barber's Shop, along the close and up the stairs off the North Gate, removes that worry and takes you back to a simpler age. With just one pair of scissors and 3 different bowl sizes, you can be sure of a straightforward, no-nonsense haircut.
And never mind the hot towels and to tube up your bottom when all you want is a close shave. We've used the same cutthroat razor for the past 37 years and there's never been a complaint yet. Cold water and carbolic soap are the best recipe for a really satisfying shaving experience for men and women alike. Whether up top or down below.
In Your Face Barber Shop, down the North Gate, along the close and up the stairs. For no-nonsense haircuts that were good enough for the monks of the Crosskirk. And a shaving experience that brings you one step closer to nature. No appointment necessary, just sit and wait like everybody else.
And this autumn season, why not purchase an in-your-face total experience gift voucher and make someone really happy?
Now, anybody who's travelled in the Scottish Highlands and Islands will be familiar with the term single-track road with passing places. But these roads aren't exclusive to the north. Here in Peebles, we have several single-track roads. Rosetta Road, for example, is a street littered with broken windmillers and requiring constant reversing and flashing of headlights.
Montgomery Place, Cross Street and the main Edinburgh Road all get honourable mentions, but tonight we're visiting Caledonian Road. The fire station, the ambulance station and the cars from over 400 houses have to negotiate Caledonian Road. A quarter-mile single track lined along one side with parked cars, small trucks and always at least one open-reach van parked at an angle. Here's Robert Barr and the DHRC House Band to tell us more.
Caledonian Road, pray it's not your abode, and we'll sing the song as we travel along Caledonian Road. Caledonian Road, there's cars overflow. If you're travelling in style, you'll be gone for a while on Caledonian Road. Caledonian Road, more cars I'll be below. If you're playing out a lot, then you'll surely get stuck on Caledonian Road. Caledonian Road, more cars I'll be below. If you're in the wrong lane, it'll drive you insane on Caledonian Road. Caledonian Road, life needs a reload. If you're in the wrong lane, it'll drive you insane on Caledonian Road. Caledonian Road, life needs a reload. If you want to go places and find endless spaces, skip Caledonian Road. Caledonian Road, but it's not your abode, and we'll sing the song as we travel along Caledonian Road. Yes, we'll sing the song as we travel along on Caledonian Road. Caledonian Road.
Robert Barr and the DHRC House Band celebrating the nightmare that is driving on Caledonian Road here in the heart of Peebles.
We're approaching our interval here on the Autumn Special Edition. There's an opportunity for our audience to head down to the well-stocked Eastgate Bar and for our band members to tune their instruments in time for the second half of the show.
And don't forget to purchase tickets for our grand prize draw. There are fabulous prizes on offer tonight, and all proceeds from the prize draw will benefit the Eastgate Theatre.
We'll be drawing the winners immediately after the interval. Just wait for it. Here in the auditorium, so it's your last chance to get your winning tickets. Just £5 to be in the draw for these fabulous prizes, and they'll be selling tickets up here and I believe downstairs as well. Just up here.
Just up here, right. And we'd like to thank Clive Hamilton and his hard-working team in collecting together these fabulous prizes which we have in the prize draw.
Yes, thank you very much. So the tickets are on sale up here, and the drinks are on sale downstairs. So grab a drink, grab a ticket, and we'll see you after the interval. Thank you. A warm welcome back to our Autumn Special Edition show in aid of the Grand Old Eastgate Theatre.
Coming up in this portion of the show, Darth Vader is visiting Peebles, hoping to get a new key cut for the Death Star. And a recently retired Rupert Murdoch is looking for a new project.
That's later in the second half of our autumn special edition. Just now, please welcome our house band back on stage. Henry White is putting on a happy face.
She wouldn't listen to me. Now she's a real thing. Spread sunshine all over the place and put on a happy face. Put on a happy face.
Put on a happy face this autumn season with the DHRC House Band as we get started on the second half of our autumn special edition show in the support of the Grand Old Eastgate Theatre here in downtown Peebles.
We'd like to share with you another sketch we performed for the Brexit Horror Show in October 2019, just about 4 years ago. It involves an apocalyptic scene of miles and miles of lorries in post-Brexit Britain trying to leave Dover for mainland Europe before their precious cargoes of shellfish and other perishables become worthless. Clearly, we thought we were exaggerating for comic effect, but sadly, it has all come to pass. Here's Corporal Jones from Dad's Army to introduce the story.
Who do you think you are kidding, Mr. Hitler, if you think we're on the run? We are the boys who will stop your little game. We are the boys who will make you think again. 'Cause who do you think you are kidding, Mr. Hitler, if you think all England's done? Mr. Brown goes off.
Permission to speak, sir?
Yes, what is it, James?
The thing is, Captain Menring, that the war's been over and there's been peace in Europe for 75 years and we're all dead and buried. What are we doing here?
It's a good question, Jonesy. Now listen up, men. We've been summoned back from the dead because there are many people in Britain who still think that the war's going on and that Europe is the enemy. And we all know that that's no longer the case.
Right, sir. Right, sir. Thank you for that, sir. About turn. Sorry about that, sir.
Well, I'm not entirely sure about what you say there, Capman. It is clear as a nose in your face that there's no been complete plain sailing in Europe. Do you know hear tell of the mad cows?
What's that, Fraser? Ah, yes, well, apart from the French, of course. But generally speaking, there's been peace in Europe for around 75 years now. Anyway, that's all about to change. Pretty soon, there are going to be miles and miles of lorries of rotting food on the road to Dover, and it's our job to keep the peace. Our orders are in this envelope, which I've just opened. Now, this is top secret, and it comes from the very top.
Thank you, sir.
Just a minute, where's Pike? Pike! Pike! Where is that stupid boy?
Here I am, Captain Mannering. This is rather strange, isn't it, Uncle Arthur? Because you lot are all dead and frozen in time, but I'm still alive, and by the magic of make-believe, none of us has grown any older. Hang on, just put my phone on more vibrate.
Phone on vibrate? What on earth are you talking about? Now listen up, Pike. There have been just a few changes since we're all on active duty in Warmington on the Sea. And I understand that you can keep us all on the straight and narrow. Now look, our orders say that we have to get all these lorries in a big circle.
You mean like a wagon train, Captain Mannering? That'll be fun, won't it, Uncle Arthur?
Oh, do be quiet, Frank. However, do you think that's wise, sir? I mean, these lorries are awfully big, and there's such a lot of them, the circle will be huge.
Permission to speak, sir? Any time, sir.
Yeah.
Permission to speak.
Not now, Jones.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Right, sir. Right, sir.
Now listen to me, Wilson. Of course I think it's wise. Get these lorries in a big... Good Lord, what's that?
It's a lorry, Captain Mannering.
Don't be ridiculous, Pike. That looks nothing like Jones's delivery wagon. That thing as long as a train and as tall as a house.
That's because it's a 44-ton, 6-axle articulated lorry. It's nearly 5 meters high, 18 meters long, and driven by a 150-kilogram Polish shot putter from Warsaw.
Meters? Kilograms? What are you talking about, boy, I tell you, Wilson? It's a foreign language. I thought we won the war. What's wrong with hundredweights and yards, feet and inches?
We went metric 40 years ago, Captain Mannering.
Is the idea of the world's about is stuck in the 1940s like too many of Little Britons?
Metric? That's ridiculous. Anyway, that's all about to change. Back to how it was 40 years ago.
Aye, you can enjoy
Just a minute.
Permission to speak.
Not now, Jonesy. You know, Wilson, I think I'm going to rather enjoy this. Now get the lorries in a big circle, Jones.
Right here, sir. Right here.
Aye, you can enjoy it all you want, Capman, but hear my words. It'll end in tragedy, I tell you. If you want, if the UK leaves the EU, it'll be a disaster for young folk, farming and mutual understanding. We're doomed, I tell you, we're all doomed.
That's a pretty grim picture to paint, Fraser. Can't you see a positive side to all this Brexit shenanigans?
Well, let me see. No.
Right, you lot. You heard Captain Mannering. Everybody fall in. Let's get these big lorries in a massive circle before all these fish start smelling any worse than they do at 10. Jump!
Doomed, I tell you, Capman, we're all doomed. Doomed, I tell you, doomed.
The Dad's Army team returning from the dead to try and mitigate the disaster brought to the country by Brexit just 4 years ago. Sadly, it's going to take more than a zombie army of the dead from 1970s sitcom to rescue us from Brexit oblivion. But at the moment, it's all we've got.
Let's drag our sagging spirits away from the message which is Brexit and allow our house band to lift us up again with more music. When all's said and done, it's still a wonderful world.
I see trees of green, red roses too. I watch them bloom for me and you, and I think to myself, what a wonderful world. I see skies of blue and clouds of white, the brightness of day and the darkness of night, and I think to myself, what a wonderful world. The colors of the rainbow, so pretty in the sky, are always on the faces of the people passing by. I see friends holding hands, saying, how do you do? What they're really saying is, I love you. I hear babies cry, I'll watch them grow. They'll learn much more than I'll ever know, and I think to myself, it's so wonderful world. Yes, I'll think to myself, it's a wonderful world. Wonderful.
Where are your troubles now? Henry White and that DHRC house band, thank you.
This next portion of our show is brought to you by the Peebles News, bravely rewriting the rules of basic spelling and grammar. Of all the newspapers in all the towns of the world, we got the Peebles News. Soft, strong and absorbent. The Peebles News is conveniently sized for standard bird cages and rabbit hutches, and is cheaper than many branded kitchen towels, despite the inconvenient printing on either side of the paper.
When you're tired of heavyweight national politics, depressing news of war and famine overseas, had enough of serious discussion about corruption, exploitation, climate change and bank fraud, then it's time to reach for the Peebles News.
Bathe instead in the tepid waters of local swimming galas, coffee mornings, club members awarding each other prizes, and pages of identical letters thanking you for loose change donations.
Read about what local people are wearing on the high street, who took a pee up an alleyway, and of course the ever-popular Pet of the Week.
The big news this week in the Peebles News is a good old-fashioned scoop.
That's right, with letters to the editor revealing that canine excrement now covers the whole of Tweeddale like a thin layer of chicken korma. The Peebles News has decided to take action.
Pages 4 and 5 of this week's paper are given over to detailed instructions on how to fold the whole newspaper into a scoop that can then be used to collect dog poo even before it hits the ground.
After this week's edition of the Peebles News, there's no longer any excuse for irresponsible dog owners to leave it in the middle of the pavement. The Peebles News scoop has already attracted praise on the high street.
I buy the People Show every week, but I've never actually read it. At last, I've got a use for the damn thing.
And even when it's belting week here in Peebles, the PN's editor claims the scoop is strong enough to manage those road apples left behind after the Wednesday's evening ride-out.
That's the PN scoop this week in the Peebles News.
And speaking of our esteemed local newspaper, let's head down to Peebles High Street, where a visitor has just arrived in town.
Oh, hello, Mr. Murdoch. It's a pleasure to meet you. Can I just say, I've been a big fan of yours ever since the early days, and the changes you made to the television industry were just...
Yeah, look, never mind all that. Look, I think taking over a small provincial newspaper is just what I need, now that I'm stepping back a little bit. It'll help me keep my hand in, if you know what I mean.
Of course, sir. Well, welcome to the Peebles News. Are you sure you're happy meeting here on the high street? We could go to my office.
No, this is fine. You know, I like to get a feel for a place, you know?
Yes, of course. Well, you can see we do have a lot of independent shops.
Yeah, I can see that. And listen, that's great. Now, I parked the car in a big car park next to Sainsbury's. What's it called?
That's the Edinburgh Road car park. It's also known as the East Station car park, but most people call it the Eastgate car park.
Whoa, make your mind up. But yeah, that's the one. I mean, is it okay there? I mean, I don't have to pay or something. There was a sign, but I couldn't figure it out.
What day of the week is it?
Well, what the hell does that matter?
Okay, it's not a Saturday. It's a Friday. Let me just check. No, you're okay. You don't need to pay. You only have to pay on a Saturday.
You only have to pay on a Saturday.
But are you sure it's the Eastgate car park you're in, not the one next to the swimming pool? Or Need Path car park next to the new Kingsland Primary School? Or Kings Meadows, which is over the river next to the play park?
I think I know a bloody Sainsbury's when I see one.
Good. Okay. It'll be different depending on where you park.
Jesus.
Well, actually, that's all under review at the moment.
Oh yeah? And what's the paper's angle on it?
Well, we're kind of on the fence, if you know what I mean.
No, I don't know what you mean. I've never sat on the bloody fence about anything. Sounds uncomfortable to me.
I mean, those in favour of charging for parking say that the money raised could be spent on improving the town centre, but some people think charging for parking will stop people coming into town for their shopping.
But if there's no charge, don't the car parks get filled up with people parking all day?
Well, yeah.
And what about people parking here on the street? It's choked, fella. I mean, there's double parking all over the place.
Yeah, some cars get parked all day. It's supposed to be 45 minutes max, but there's no traffic wardens to implement the rules.
It seems a mess. This paper should have an angle on it.
Yeah, well...
Yeah, well. Anyway, listen, I'd like to take a walk up the high street, but first of all, fella, I've got to take a leak. Old man's problems, you know? Where's the nearest dunny?
Well, there's a problem there too. There is one that's just across the road near the top of School Bray, but that's shut. There's one at the Eastgate car park, and that's shut as well. And then there's another one at the Kings Meadows car park, but...
Let me guess, it's shut as well. Yeah, I'm sensing a trend here. So where can a guy get a pee? I mean, my back teeth are swimming.
You could go to Tesco's, or the Eastgate Theatre if it's still open. That's it.
That's it. And could parking fees be used to keep the dummies open?
I guess.
It's just that everybody has a bladder, not everybody has a car. You get my drift? And what do you think stops a coachload of grannies from visiting Peebles for the day? A quid to park the coach or a total lack of loos?
So, should I get off the fence?
That's more like it, fella. This is going to be like being back in Oz in the 50s. I think I'm going to enjoy this.
a rejuvenated Rupert Murdoch. Getting the Peebles news off that uncomfortable fence it's been sitting on. What could possibly go wrong? You're listening to the Autumn Special Edition from the Downright Homespun Radio Company. We're out here on Peebles High Street, where an unusual vehicle has just pulled up outside Scott's Hardware Emporium.
Who's next?
I believe I am. Do you cut replacement keys?
Aye, sir, we do that. Here at Scott's, we cut all sorts of keys. Door keys, car keys, anything as long as you're over 21. But I'm afraid we don't sell inhalers for your asthma. You need the medical hall just down the high street. It's under new ownership just now, but they should be able to help, provided it's not lunchtime.
Are you trying to be funny? Do you know who I am?
Aye, it's Mr. Vader, isn't it?
Lord Vader to you!
Yeah, just keep your helmet on. You know, it's amazing. You go from Millennium without seeing a Jedi Knight, and then you get two in the shop at the same time. One good, one bad.
Two? What other knight is in this building? I can feel a presence. Yes, I can tell somebody is here. Is it my son, Luke Skywalker? He took his mother's maiden name.
Not unless he's evolved into another species since he was born. Now, what can I get you?
The Force is strong. I need to know who it is.
Well, if you must know, it's that Mr. Yoda. Lovely bloke. He comes here for all his DIY supplies, especially his paint mixing.
I must get my lightsaber. It's out into intergalactical cruiser.
We sell them. Over there by the security lamps. $8.99, not including 4 AA batteries.
No, I must get mine. It's special and more powerful.
You won't get more powerful than this one. It's fresh stock. Just got it in from the wreck last week. Mr. Han Solo?
Han Solo is here.
And his assistant Chewbacca. They always call him on their way to the Crown Hotel bar next door. They just blend in there, you see. Now,
Do you get all the Jedi Knights in here?
like I say, it's been a millennium or more since M2 come along at once. It's been a while since we saw that Obi-Wan Kenobi though. Nice bloke, very softly spoken, I seem to remember. Look, I really think it's an inhaler you want, the medical hall. It's just down the street. And I see out the window that you've just got a ticket for parking in a disabled parking space. Although with a serious case of asthma like you've got, I think you're entitled to a blue badge. Now, can I help you? Just a minute, Mr. Yoda. Have you chosen a colour you like?
Many colours for my bedroom wall there are. Specialist in paint mixing they are.
We are indeed.
5 litres Cosmos Orange by I will. Ah, Lord Vader. Still the asthma problem you have?
I take it you two know each other. I was just saying you should nip down to the chemist. Wasn't I, Mr. Vader?
Lord Vader! And will you two stop going on about my asthma? I've been waiting for 2 weeks to see a doctor at Haylodge. I try to make an appointment, but their phone is always engaged. Don't they know who I am? I could destroy them with just one thought.
Aye, of course you can. Now once again, Lord Vader, is there something I can do for you?
I need a new key cut for the flight deck of the Death Star. The plumber lost the other in the cargo hold. But this key is special. It has an encryption known only to those from a galaxy far, far away.
Aye, no problem. We've a new lad started last week, name of Jar Jar. He'll sort it out for you. Take 15 minutes, is that all right?
Not Jar Jar Binks from episode 1. He's as dense as a stormtrooper's jockstrap. You might as well give the job to Jabba the Hutt.
Aye, he's not the sharpest Stanley's knife in the toolkit, but he'll get the job done.
Come on, Yoda. Let's go to the Crown for a drink.
Righto.
It's my ground, I believe.
Righty-o. We'll have that key ready for you by the time you get back.
That's something for your throat as well, Darth Vader, you need.
And the paint will be ready too.
Yoda, will you ever put your verbs in the right order?
Hardware Emporium, along there on Peebles High Street, is your one-stop for household and hardware goods and services. It's good enough for the Death Star, so whether it's your Ford Escort, front door, shed, or intergalactic cruiser, you can always get replacement keys cut at Scott's. Scott's Hardware Emporium. And don't forget, Scott's Garden Centre next door, the longest, thinnest garden centre in Europe.
There's music from our house band now on the autumn special edition from a grand old Eastgate radio company.
What?
Yes. Please welcome Patsy Gemmell on stage with the DHRC house band. It's time to get happy.
Where the weary forever are free. Come, you sinners, and just follow me. Come on, get happy. You better chase all your cares away. Shout hallelujah, come on, get happy. Get ready for the country day. The sun is shining, come on, get happy. The Lord is waiting to take your hand. Shout hallelujah, come on, get happy. We're going to the promised land. We're across the river, while she sits away in the tide. It's all so peaceful on the other side. Forget your troubles, come on, get happy. You gotta chase all your cares away. Shout hallelujah, come on, get happy. Get ready for the judgment day. We're heading across that river while she sings away in the tide. It's all so peaceful on the other side. Forget your troubles, come on, get happy. You better chase all your cares away. Shout hallelujah, come on, get happy. We're heading for the judgment day. Hallelujah, hallelujah. Come, you sinners, gather round.
Patsy Gemmell and the DHRC house band here on stage at the grand old Eastgate Theatre.
Whether you're tuning in from an oil rig in the Barents Sea, a nuclear power plant on the coast of Japan, or the International Space Station, currently orbiting over the Aleutian Islands in the North Pacific Ocean, you're welcome to the DHRC's Autumn Special Edition, raising funds to support our beloved grand old Eastgate Theatre! Here in the heart of Peebles, Scotland. On the BBC and National Geographic Channel this winter.
From an unexplored Garden of Eden comes a wildlife documentary series like no other.
Out of a river deeps a new land has formed and life has flourished, undisturbed by the world of mankind.
This virgin island represents the newest dry land on the planet. But despite its recent emergence
ancient process of evolution is taking place before our eyes. With extraordinary footage of creatures not seen on the earth for millions of years, David Attenborough sets foot on a new island, teeming with life from dragonflies to dodos, trilobites, and to a giant-sized lizard. Behind me, just through these gigantic jungle ferns, stands a creature we have hitherto only experienced in picture books and museums of prehistory. And yet, here on this extraordinary, undisturbed island, it has once again evolved from the primordial slime. An unforgettable 4-part natural history series from the BBC. Tweed Island premieres next winter. I'm going to take a closer look. Don't miss Tweed Island, the land that time forgot, here on the BBC.
Last year at our annual Amerrycana Christmas show, we introduced a new act to our show, and for the past 9 months in Peebles, there's been talk of little else. Rapper Storyfoot Steve brought his unique form of musical expression to our stage here at the Grand Old Eastgate Theatre, celebrating everything that is rich and precious about this small town and its people. Our postbag and social media channels have been overwhelmed ever since with requests for more. So, by popular demand, we welcome to the stage, with his unforgettable and glorious celebration of small towns everywhere, and this town in particular, put your hands together please for Storyfoot Steve!
Yo. If you had just one shot to live in the town of your choice, where would you choose? Would you choose Edinburgh? Or Glasgow? Shields? Or this place? I live in Peebles. I live in Peebles. I said Peebles. I live in Peebles. Get off the 62 bus and it's very in front of you. You can't miss it, and there's traffic lights too. They shine all day, they shine all night. Take a walk by the Tweed to make it alright. This place got the top. Everything you need. I live in Peebles. I live in Peebles. Every June there's a belting, that's not to be missed. The kids get dressed up, the parents get pissed. There's horses and ice cream all over town, so the Rose trees benefit, and so does the Crown and the Tontine and the County and all the other pubs. I live in Peebles. I live in Peebles. Now the school got burnt down and so did the pool. So just don't come here if you want to play the fool, or go for a swim, or practice your strokes, or hang out with delinquents instead of your folks down the Tweed Green. It's a bad scene. I live in Peebles. I live in Peebles. Now the High Street special, and it wins prizes for its independent shops of different sizes, with hardware and clothes shops and hot coffee shops too. We've even got a Greg's to satisfy you with a vegan sausage roll on a steak bake. I live in Peebles. I live in Peebles. Now they're building more houses and the traffic's getting bad. Some folks think it's good, others getting sad. We need another bridge is the common cry. Caledonia Road, just give it a try. It's a log jam. It drives me crazy. I live in Peebles. I live in Peebles. Now the Eastgate Theatre is
Wish you'd all just go home after that. The magnificent Storyfoot Steve with I Live in Peebles. This next portion of our show is brought to you by Forsyth's Food Emporium here in Peebles. The Forsyth family first arrived in Peebles in Neolithic times, trading strips of dried antelope, bear and rhinoceros meat for local produce. They quickly established themselves as regular suppliers, and in time there were 3 Forsyth stores here in the town.
The butchers and the bakers still stand alongside each other, just along from the grand old Eastgate Theatre, and the candlestick makers was in the Old Town. But this third shop fell in hard times with the advent of the electric light, and so it became a second butcher's outlet, linked to the main shop by an underground tunnel that runs below the high street.
Retaining its candlestick maker's pace and character, Forsyth's Butchers in the Old Town was a refuge from the busy queues and bustling counter of the main store. Staffed by a single, silent employee, and with glacial waiting times while your meat order was fetched along the tunnel from the other shop, Forsyth's in the Old Town offered an opportunity to pause in the still, empty silence and reflect on the futility of modern existence. Perhaps to meditate on how your life has turned out, and to wonder what went wrong. Deep shopping in a shallow world.
The Old Town store is closed now, but Forsyth's in the Eastgate is as busy as ever. For the butcher shop, simply join the queue that stretches along the north side of the high street, and for the bakers, begin your journey at the Edinburgh Road roundabout.
Forsyth's Butchers and Bakers, right there on the Eastgate in Peebles.
Candlesticks are still available on request.
We've got music from our DHRC house band coming up, and we'll check in with Angus and Gordon on the new Eastgate Board of Trustees as they attempt to steer the ship away from the rocks.
And we're looking ahead just a couple of months to our annual DHRC Amerrycana Christmas show here in the auditorium of the grand old Eastgate Theatre.
Hooray! But before all that, it's Miller's time.
Yes!
It really is Miller's time. Time for singers. Time for the piano.
Yes, it's Miller's time. Time for leaf blowers,
Mulchers.
strimmers,
Trimmers.
fillers,
Tillers.
billets,
Skillets.
pullets,
Pallets.
mallets,
Mullets.
mugs,
Jugs.
tugs,
Tags.
flags,
Reinforced autoclaved aerated concrete.
adjustable steel support columns,
First aid equipment.
coffins,
Aero bars.
slates,
Brakes.
hard hats,
Soft mats.
building warrants,
Dog food.
party conferences,
Anal dilators.
inserters,
Inseminators.
extractors,
Beads.
leads,
Seeds.
feed,
Mead.
rubbish bags,
Sheep dip.
insecticides banned in Europe because they kill bees and cause cancer, but legalised here now that we're free of our EU red tape and bureaucracy.
Beehives.
Bird feeders,
Worm farms.
small inflatable boats,
Big infected barges.
locks,
Chains.
shackles,
Handcuffs.
blindfolds,
Cattle prods.
bulbs,
Shrubs.
trees.
Christmas cards.
Really?
It's almost October.
Oh, fair enough.
And terracotta figurines.
It has to be Miller's.
Yes, it has to be Miller's. When you can't find it at Scott's and it's too complicated to ask at the chemist, head over to Miller's, where you'll find every conceivable item for your home and garden. Whether you're treating the sheep for tapeworms or preparing for a night out, get yourself along to Miller's of Peebles and other places as well.
We're approaching the end of our autumn special edition fundraising show for the Eastgate Theatre, and already we're looking ahead just a couple of months to our traditional Amerrycana Christmas show on December 14th, 15th and 16th.
Christmas doesn't begin in Peebles until you've been to the DHRC's famous Amerrycana show, broadcast live from this very stage since 1896. Tickets are on sale now, so why not pick up yours before you leave the theatre tonight?
You've been listening to the DHRC's Autumn Special Edition, an extra one-off show performed to raise funds for the grand old Eastgate Theatre! Yes, a big hand please for our band members on stage this evening. drums, on drums we have Ian Beaton. Band leader Henry Taylor on the bass. Lauren Goldthorpe on the piano. Our very own ray of sunshine, Mr. Alistair Ray on the guitar. And please welcome to the stage our newest band member, Kenneth McAllister on clarinet and saxophone. And let's not forget our guest pianist this evening, Michael Gemmell.
And on the microphones this evening, Henry White and Patsy Gemmell. And let's not forget our Royal Company of Radio Actors, the infinite voices of Steve Lee, OBE. And Sir Robert Barr of Manor.
And keeping things on an even keel, Douglas Roberts, ladies and gentlemen. Playing our sound effects in during the show was Alan Taylor up there next to the sound desk. Alongside the partly competent Steve Moffat, our lighting and sound wizard for this evening. Thank you.
Our thanks, as always, to our videographer, stage manager, problem solver, and coordinator of our DHRC Creative Fund, Anthony Newton. He's up there at that. Our rehearsal space is at Nomad Beat, thank you to them, and the that's the Community Music School in Peebles. And our publicity posters were printed by the ever-helpful Alan at Lemon Digital.
Once again, ladies and gentlemen, Clive Hamilton and his team for their tireless efforts over the past few weeks, and all the local businesses who donated such generous prizes in support of the grand old Eastgate Theatre. Thank you very much.
And thank you all for coming this evening and contributing to our efforts to keep the theatre in funds and in good heart.
As you leave this evening, please take an opportunity to thank the magnificent hard-working staff and the volunteers here at the theatre for keeping things going over this past year in difficult circumstances and against the odds. Whilst you're at it, why not pick up a brochure and see what's coming up over the next few months?
Tonight, you've raised over £3,000 for the theatre just by being here this evening.
Douglas, can I just add that the raffle alone made £1,500, so thank you very much for that.
And that's going to take it up to near £4,000 for the theatre. So how can we keep this up?
Well, why not make a habit of coming to at least one show every month? Consider taking a punt on a show you might not normally go to see. That could be the difference between sink or swim for the theatre in the next 6 months.
Every pound you spend on show tickets, in the bar and cafe, on classes and workshops, and in generous donations helps to keep the theatre alive and open.
Okay. To sing us out this evening, our DHRC house band brings you an old favourite to take home with you and keep you warm on these cooler autumn nights. It's Happy Talk from South Pacific.
Talking, happy talk. Think about things you like to do. You got to have a dream. If you don't have a dream, how you gonna have a dream come true?
Talk about it, floating in the sky, looking like a lily on a lake. Talk about a bird learning how to fly, making all the music he can make. Happy talking, talking, happy talk. Talk about things you'd like to do. You got to have a dream. If you don't have a dream, how you gonna have a dream come true?
Talk about a star looking like a toy. Talk about the things you like to do. Talk about a girl. Talk about a boy. Counting all the ripples on the sea. Happy talking, talking, happy talk. Talk about things you'd like to do. Have a dream. If you don't have a dream, how you gonna have a dream come true?
Saying to a girl, golly baby, I'm a lucky cuss. Talk about the girl, saying to the boy,
You and me are lucky to be us. Happy talking, talking, happy talk. Talk about things you'd like to do. You have a dream. If you don't have a dream, how you gonna have a dream come true? How you gonna have a dream come true?
So it's agreed we move forward as the Eastgate Farm Theatre and Arts venue.
Aye, that's right. The first agricultural subsidies already in the bank account. We're afloat again, hooray!
And the new Adopt a Sheep for an Eastgate Keep initiative is going down the stall with the locals. Although it does look like Forsyths bought most of them.
Oh, this is marvellous. This is going so well.
Aye, there's a rehearsal taking place in the studio right now for the end of year sheep dip show. And there's a waiting list for the You Can Dance group.
The BBC are wanting to film our version of One Man and His Dog. Tickets are selling well for the sheep shape competition.
Oh, brilliant.
And then there's the synchronised sheep disco dancing next month. Oh, aye, there's lots of entertaining things you can do with a sheep.
I don't know why we didn't think of all this before. By the way, what sort of sheep are these?
They're all black-faced ewes. It wasn't easy getting them up the stairs, I can tell you.
What's that smell?
Well, that's the lift. I found I can get 6 in at a time. I'll give a wee clean out later.
So is that it?
It should be. I'll put the top out next month and film it for this rather specialist YouTube channel. That should generate some extra money.
Excellent, and I think the DHRC is going to feel right at home amongst this lot.
me sunshine in your smile. Bring me laughter all the while. In this world where we live, there should be more happiness. Bring me joy to me live, to wish bright you bright tomorrow. Bring me so long, sad times, so long, bad times. We are rid of you at last. Howdy, gay times, cloudy, grey times. You are now a thing of the past. Days are clear again, the skies above are clear again. So let's sing a song of cheer again. Happy days are here again. All together shouting out, there's no one who can doubt it now. So let's sing a song about it now. Happy days are here again. Your cares and troubles are gone. There'll be no more from now on. Happy days are here again. The skies above are clear again. So let's sing a song of cheer again. Happy days are here again. Your cares and troubles are gone. There'll be no more from now on. Happy days are here again. The skies above are clear again. So let's sing a song of cheer again. Happy days are here again. Thanks, everyone. Hope you had a good time here.
I remember when this place was a theatre stand. Still, it's good to have somewhere to store our council road signs again, eh?
A load of sheep shit lying in the wood.
Ah, well, you get a load of musicians and artists together and there's no telling what might happen.
Suppose so. You know? I think it was better as a theatre, Bert.
So do I. Good night, Stan.
Good night, Bert.